Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. This is Dr. Levi with your show, The Dr. Levi Show. So happy to have you with us today. Lots to discuss as per usual. Beautiful day here in Los Angeles. Ultra hot. We're looking at temperatures like 100 plus here in the valley, is where I live, actually. It's interesting because here it's going to be like 106, 105 in the valley, and Santa Monica around the coast is like 74, 73. So it shows you the extraordinary contrast we have with these multi-micro environments here in California. So I hope wherever you are, you're making it a great day. Before we get started, I really have to say that we have to give a major shout out to the first responders in Houston, as well as to everyone else there who really shown what it is to be a human being who has humanity, what it is to actually reach out and help other people that you don't know, who are strangers, who need your help, and that you give this help to them unconditionally. So to all those heroes out there, men and women who've done so much good to help those people who are impacted by this extraordinary deluge. This is a flood of epic proportions. The only thing in my lifetime that I can remember like this was Katrina, and I know how that impacted my family and how we were displaced, and how my mother and grandmother had to come and live with me for almost a year because of the tragedy in New Orleans with Katrina. So Houston, where our hearts and prayers from this show and from California really go out to you. I want to let everyone know, too, that I'll definitely be donating to the American Red Cross. I'm asking everyone to do the same because they really, really, really need our help. And remember, when we help another human being, we're actually helping ourselves, because everyone that we see and everyone that we're around, they're a reflection of us. No matter their race, their creed, their sex, their sexuality, their gender identity, none of that is really important. What is important is that every human being is a mirror of another human being. And I think it's incumbent upon us to really love people the way we want to be loved, to respect people, to show compassion, to show humanity, to have humility, to be loving and caring with all individuals. And Houston gives us an opportunity to up-level our humanity. It gives us an opportunity to really say that, okay, am I going to just look at it on TV every day and say, wow, look at those people? Because those people are us. We're no different from them. Tragedy and catastrophe can hit anywhere. Don't forget, we live here in California with this, which is really earthquake prone. So, just like it happened in Houston with the flood, it could happen here in California with an earthquake or something else, or a fire. So I really want to say that I'm really hoping that today we all take a chance and take the opportunity to reassess all of our blessings and to be grateful. And then in your gratitude, I'm asking everyone to think, okay, how can I go outside of myself and make the world better for other people? And especially at this moment in time, especially for the people of Houston. This is a tragedy of epic proportions, and I'm really hoping that we will all get out our shell of being a looky-loo, being a spectator, and say, okay, you know what? I can't give $40,000, but you know what? I can give 10. I can't give $15,000, but you know what? I can give 100. You know what? I'm going to take this month and not do any boutique coffees, and I'm going to take all that money, which may be $75 to $100 a month. I'm going to give that to the American Red Cross. So I say that because we're so blessed in this country, and I think it's so important that we do what we can to help other human beings. I'm just big on that. As I've said before on this show 1,000+ times, is that I believe the highest order of our humanity is to be of service to other human beings. And it's great when we can do that unconditionally, meaning that I don't care if they say thank you, if they give something back. By just doing something to help another human being, we enrich our own lives. So I'm asking you to really, really, really reach out to the people of Houston. My sister, Jaylene, she's there with her kid and her husband. She's staying right now with her sister-in-law. So, I'm really personally impacted by this. But even if I weren't, I'm still personally impacted because these are other human beings. These are people. These are persons. Therefore, personally, it does still affect me. And guess what? wherever you are, it affects you. So please, please, please donate. Give of your time. Give of your talent. Give of your treasure. I'm asking you to please do that. I mean, the listeners of this show are very loyal. I'm very grateful to have you. I'm very grateful that you allow me to have this snapshot into your life every Wednesday from 10 until 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I feel blessed and grateful to be with you. But I also want to know that this job, this show, is really about up-leveling our game of humanity and service. So I want you to be a part of this community, but I also want you to be a person of action. I want you to be a person of activity. I want you to not to be the spectator, the bystander, the looky-loo, the I wish I would have, could have, should have. I want you to activate. I want you to do. I want you to be the best possible version of yourself. And I think we can do that, of course, by giving to other people. So I hope you do. And I want to thank you, of course, for listening to the show. We have a wonderful show planned for you today. We have Hamsa El-Assaad with us today, and she's an extraordinary being who does phenomenal things in the community. But more importantly, she's a woman of great gratitude. She's a woman who has overcome so much in her life. And in that overcoming, she was able to not only look back and see where she's come from, but also to look forward with vision to make life better for other people, especially for children, especially for our youth. And if you think about it, many of us heard this old adage that children are our future. Well, guess what? They really are. We'll be gone soon. But then they come up. It's a new generation. It's that change that will hopefully sustain humanity in a better way with more love, more kindness, more service, more goodness, less judgment. Hopefully that'll be the case. Well, I want to, Hamsa is going to be here shortly. We're going to talk to her. I want to give you a medical moment. I had a lot of emails this morning, over 22 of them, about coconut oil. So I don't know if coconut oil was seen on television this morning or yesterday. Maybe there's some blog that talked about it. So let me just give you the skippy about coconut oil. And also someone asked me, could I talk about white rice versus brown rice? So let's go through a few things. So, coconut oil, yes, it can be a great product for your skin, of course. You can cook with it. However, coconut oil is a saturated oil. So if you use it, of course, you definitely will have the high potential and a risk of increasing bad cholesterol. What's the bad cholesterol? The LDL. So with that said, what you want to have elevated, of course, is your HDL. So if you look at basically a cup of olive oil versus a cup of coconut oil, a cup of coconut oil may have like saturated fat, specifically up to maybe like 180 plus grams of fat in that. Unlike olive oil may have maybe approximately 31 grams of saturated types of fat. So with that said, I've never been a big fan of coconut oil for constant daily use. I think you use it once a week, twice a week, okay. But every day, you really run the risk, especially if you take this internally, you're cooking with it, you're frying with it, you're baking with it, and even in baking, I have friends, we just discussed this recently, that people who bake with coconut oil often love the texture of food with coconut oil. Myself, I'm not a fan. I think it makes it more chewy. I'm just not a fan of it myself. But with that said, I'm not saying coconut oil is bad. So before you send me any email, text, or anything about that, let me reiterate, I am not saying coconut oil is bad. What I am saying, of course, as a physician, as a surgeon, as a medical doctor, what I am saying very clearly is that coconut oil can be used, but in true moderation. Once or twice a week, there you go. So I hope that's clear. I'm sure if you want more information, go to like webmd.com. I actually love that website a lot. You can do your own research about coconut oil, but these are some general things I wanted to bring up because whenever I get blasted like that with a lot of emails right before coming to the show, it's like someone's seen something, a lot of people have seen something, don't know where it was about coconut oil. So hopefully I give you some insight about that. Now, the other thing that I want to discuss is white rice versus brown rice. Okay, so let's go over a few things. Rice is rice is rice. Yes, they're not all created equal. And yes, the brown rice may possibly have a little more fiber in it, possibly. However, I look at rice as still glue. It's a high stakes carbohydrate. So if you eat rice, brown or white, rice is rice. The calories are the same. So, if you think you're doing yourself a favor by saying, well, I'm going to eat like 1 or 2 bowls of brown rice a day, but never white rice. Well, no, it's not that. You're not doing yourself a big favor. It's like I just had this conversation recently with a patient who said, well, I only use brown sugar. I never use white sugar. Sugar is sugar is sugar, period, no matter what the color is. So if you're using sugar, if you're using agave, if you're using honey, if you're using white sugar, brown sugar, molasses, it's all sugar. So the goal is, of course, as I've said before, sugar I look at as a white type poison. It's like there's nothing good about it in general that I see. There's nothing good that I've seen scientifically about what sugar does for our body. So I recommend, again, sugar in strict moderation. Minimize it if you can. And hopefully you can benefit from other food groups like, fresh fruit and vegetables, nuts and grains, things like that. So I hope that gives you some clarity about brown rice versus white rice, as well as this issue about coconut oil. But I'd like you all, if you can, send me some emails or texts or even Facebook messages about where this was, because something evidently hit this morning or yesterday about coconut oil that this came up. And I'm not a big TV watcher in general. I just don't have the time and just not a big fan in general. So I don't see a lot of TV, but something happened where this came up. Now, with that said, I want to talk to you about our guest today, who's really extraordinary, as I said earlier. Her name is Hamsa El-Assaad, and I want her to come on briefly so she can really tell you her story, tell you about her organization, tell you about her foundation, and what she's doing in the community to make life different for children and for our youth. And I really think it's wonderful when you talk to me, Hamsa El-Assaad is really an American hero. She's someone that has really come forth to make a difference, and to do that, to make that difference without any type of gratitude about it. Just doing it because she found it was the right thing to do. Doing it because she thought, okay, where can I make a difference? And she stepped up, and she's doing just that. And this is an extraordinary woman, a single mother of 3, making life happen, not only for her, but for her children, as well as for the children of other people. So I think she is a real, like the movie Wonder Woman. I got a real Wonder Woman right here in the station with me today. So I want to thank you, Hamsa El-Assaad, for being with us. So pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you, Dr. Levi. Thank you so much for having me this morning.
Absolutely. It's really wonderful. Now I'm going to move the mic up for you a little bit closer.
Okay.
So hold on.
Sure.
Right
Okay.
there. So stay
This is
right
good?
there.
Sure.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So I want to hear about, I want to tell our audience, of course, about your foundation. Before that, I want to hear about you. Where are you from, and what was your life like growing up?
Of course, if you don't mind, Dr. Levi, I want to just, if you allow me just to shout out for Houston this morning.
Yes.
I just want to say I'm sorry for what happened. It's all in God's hands.
Yes.
And we'll definitely spread the word to help
Absolutely.
donate as much as whatever we can.
Absolutely.
And definitely our prayers are
Absolutely.
going. So what happened to Houston could happen to us in a different way.
Absolutely.
It's all in God's hands. So
True.
I just wanted to mention that
Thank
before
you for
we
that.
start. Of
Thank
course.
Thank you.
And your question was Hamsa El-Assaad
Yes.
is my name. It's an Arabic name, actually.
I love that name, actually.
Yeah, Al-Assad, it's Al-Assad. So this is how we pronounce it. We have so many different letters in Arabic that they're not pronounced in the American language. I'm originally Lebanese. I immigrated back in 1990.
Yes.
And I had my own back up and downs, and I needed help in many areas. I could be somewhere else if I had those hands at that time. But I never gave up, and I kept on going, never stopped going to school. And then I became a mom. I lived in Michigan for a very long time, about 12 to 13 years. Graduated from Eastern Michigan University in Ypsilanti, or the degree in business and technology education for high school students.
Yes.
And then I was married at that time, and I started bringing children to this world.
Yes, exactly. You have 3 beautiful daughters.
3 beautiful daughters.
Yes.
That's my treasure, actually. Yes. Thank God every minute for that. And then in 2003, I came to California. It was an easy move, even though you are within the United States still. But it's totally different from
that's
the
a total
farthest
difference.
east to the
Absolutely.
to the
And Michigan to California, very different state.
Yeah, from the east to the west.
Right.
And then little by little, I got involved in teaching 2 different. I'm a high school teacher.
Yes.
And I was teaching 2 different jobs in 2 different districts for 10 years in a row. Now I'm only working with 1 district, but before.
2 different districts.
2 different districts, like going from one city to another to meet the needs.
Right.
Yeah.
And why did you choose, when you look back, why did you choose teaching as a career? What was the impetus there for you to say that, I want to do that?
Yeah, in my nature, I love to teach no matter what.
Yes.
Even if I learned a new recipe, I like to give it to everybody.
Right.
If I learned a shortcut,
you want to teach it.
I have to tell them.
Right.
Just like if you learn something new, good to yourself, you like to have it to everybody
Absolutely.
around
You want to share it.
Exactly.
I agree.
Sharing, it could help others.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so when I was working here, like starting in 2003, and my kids were at that time very, very little. So when they hit middle school age, they started asking me, Mom, can we help my friend Janet? Can we ask John to come over and maybe I can help him with some homework?
Right.
And this is how it started. And the more you talk to these students, the more you feel the need.
Yes.
The need. And you know what I learned over the years? That once these young men and women trust you,
yes,
and feel that they love you, you love them unconditionally,
yes,
you're not expecting anything back,
right,
they'll shine.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And they will definitely have a better future.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's great that you said that, is once they trust you, because I think that's in general with any relationship. Once it's truly a safe zone, people will share with you all of themselves.
True.
Because they know that they won't be judged by it, and they know and believe that you will accept their good as well as their not so good.
Exactly. And I get like very, sometimes very defiant because they fear.
Yes.
But I step back. I give them the time.
Right.
Because I want them to know I want to help, period, regardless.
Right.
Age, colors, district, school, no matter who you are, your level. Because I get to meet students who were dropped out of school for maybe 3 years.
Right.
And they're barely 16.
Right.
And they don't feel like they can tell you.
Right.
And I go, let's start with the 5th grade. They feel good. So just give them that step by step.
Right.
To feel that you truly want to help.
Right, that you are invested in their health and in their education.
Right, and they're so young.
Right.
Life is so ahead of them.
Yes.
And they can make a huge difference.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. I really love the fact that in reading about you and your bios, that it's really clear that you are there to help anyone and everyone. If they want the help, you will do it regardless of any other stamp that society may have them on them, because you want to be there to take off those stamps, to take off those masks, to really give them everything you can give them as a teacher. Yeah.
Whatever I have in my pocket is yours.
Right.
So why not sharing?
Absolutely.
And you know what? I'm a strong believer. I believe that the more you give, God is watching.
Oh, I believe that.
And it will give you back.
Oh, I believe that.
And I have 3 daughters, and I don't have a man, no young man, no husband. So I needed his help.
Right.
So I always say, the more I help, the more my kids get help when they need me. I cannot be with all 3 of them, no matter where they are in different cities. So God will be there for me. I'll be with somebody where God will be with them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How does your faith help you when you're going through really the tough times of life?
I always had in my mind, it's a test, and I will never fail it.
Right.
I don't want to fail it. I know God is testing me.
Yes.
But when I look around me, I feel I'm so grateful. I may not have money, but I'm very rich because I have beautiful, 3 healthy, smart daughters. I'm healthy myself.
Yes.
God gave me that, like, I don't know how to say it exactly, but God invested in me to help others.
Absolutely.
That's credit.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and that's why I feel like I'm very rich.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that statement because I know, in the morning when I get up, my first thing that I say is always that I surrender. God, I surrender.
Yes.
Let thy will be done.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever you want me to go, whatever you want me to say, whatever you want me to be,
Right.
let me be that unconditionally.
True.
Without trying to get in your way.
Exactly.
So
yeah,
I think
that's cool.
faith is such a pillar of strength in the midst of any storm.
Right.
It really brings
Yeah.
us to a place where if someone is around us, they don't have faith. And I think when they see people of faith, it reminds them
Mm-hmm.
of being more faithful, possibly.
Yeah, that's true. And it's a superior power.
Oh, it is.
Right? And if you just like do what you need to do as a good human being and leave the rest for him.
Right. He'll take care of it.
Yeah, he'll take care of it. Yeah.
I believe
Yeah.
that. The other thing I want to discuss is, you have all these other certifications helping like children with special needs.
Yes.
I mean, you've done a lot.
I
'Cause
never
that has to be very intense also.
To be honest, the fear. I graduated from Eastern Michigan University, beautiful university, top 5 in the nation, with a degree in business and technology education. We had time where the economy of education is kind of going down.
Yes.
So they started hiring the librarian to do the job. And I'm a responsible woman.
Right.
Like, what if I don't have a job? That fear kept me going to school.
Right.
Honestly. So I went back to school and I did another credential in adult ed.
Right.
And 2 different credential in adult ed. Continue, like for some, for example, the high school students who fell behind.
Yes.
I got into a program, and actually I was the founder of it in Michigan.
Yes.
The accelerated program, where okay, you're behind. We want you to graduate, for example, in June.
Yes.
You are 40 credits behind, but you only have time for 20.
Wow.
So let's meet in the afternoon and get those done.
Wow.
That's where the accelerated program came. The idea came with.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. And then I did the credentials to be able to for adult ed, two different credentials.
Wow.
For real adults, regular adult between like 25 and 75.
Right.
And the young high school students age, kind of like.
That's pretty
And
phenomenal.
then when I came to California, I said, okay, I came down here with 3 credentials. I'll find always a job. As long as I put food on the table, I'm super happy.
Right.
Because I don't want to hear my daughters saying, we have nothing in the fridge, Ma.
Right.
That kills.
Right.
So we have food. We have a roof above our
And
heads.
you have your health.
We have our health. We don't need more than that.
Right.
So, and I kept going to school. When I came here, I felt like I was hired as a substitute teacher in one of the high schools, and they were in a bad need for special ed teachers, but I didn't know much about it.
Right.
And then the curiosity killed me. I said, why not? So I did go to Azusa Pacific University, and I did receive I earned my credential in special ed education.
It's pretty amazing.
Along with my master's degree. And
Right.
you know what? I did my thesis about the immigration students. And among 25 in my class, it
Yes.
was my only thesis to be published
Really?
because I'm the only immigrant in there. So,
Wow, it's pretty powerful.
yeah. So, that kept me going. Right. So, and just recently did math also because a lot of students need math.
Yes, this is true.
Yeah.
What I think is wonderful is that a teacher like you, you really not only invested in the student at that time, but you're making literally, if you think about it, an investment in their lives so that they can actually be successful, not just to graduate, but to get on and be productive, financially stable, to be psychologically balanced, to be focused about their choices in life, knowing that with every choice that we make, there are always consequence.
Yeah.
So to choose the job versus the drug, to choose a healthy relationship versus unhealthy ones.
True. That's very true. And it's so nice and very happy life to be around those young men and women. They keep
course.
you young.
Of course, of course. You're
They
pretty
keep you
young
young.
anyway. Please,
Thank
you're
you.
young anyway.
Don't be fooled
Oh,
by that.
no. Don't be fooled by the beauty. Well, you got it. Well, what about your parents? What do they think about this decision
My
that you
parents
made?
are amazing parents. They survived war back home when we were little
Right.
kids. And my father himself is a principal, both of them actually, and my mom is principal.
Oh, teachers?
In both, yes.
Really?
Yes. And they have, right now, they have 3 schools. They
That's
run them up
amazing.
till this. My dad is 83 years old, but he was always a perfect example for the best teacher ever.
He really was.
He used to walk. He knew very good English back then,
Right.
at a very young age, and he had this little mini, like a black suit, and walked from one village to another, teaching kids English.
Well, he's a hero.
It was like, and then little by little,
Wow.
established his own school from 1 school to 2 to 3.
Wow.
He was the second person in the education and ministry in the government.
That's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, very smart man. He's 83, and when you talk to him, he never forgets a date, a
Really?
meeting. You ask him to write you something, he gets it out in 5 minutes.
Wow.
Very thorough.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
he's my hero.
He
Yeah.
is a hero for all of
Yeah.
us. What
Yeah.
about your mother?
And my mom did suffer his, lived up with,
Right.
I'm going to school 24/7. School
Wow.
was not only at home, and in the school, it was also at home.
At home.
So she had to put up with all that, but
It's
and keep up
intense.
with 7 kids.
Oh, 7
Yeah,
kids.
she's a hero too.
Oh,
Yeah.
So you have 6 sisters and brothers.
And what? Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
yeah, she's a
actually, yeah.
hero.
We're, to be honest, we're 9. We have 3 brothers and 6 daughters.
Wow.
Sisters. My mom is the mother of 6 sisters and 1 brother.
Yeah, she's pretty
but
amazing.
he had 2 sons before, so
Wow.
they're my brothers too.
That
yeah.
your mom, she deserves an award too.
Yeah. Yeah. She and she was a tough lady. She's still a
Well,
tough
how
lady.
could she not be with 9
She-
kids? She had to be.
Oh no, she managed.
Oh, yeah.
She's Miss Dynasty.
I
She's
love
a
that.
tough lady.
I love that.
Yeah, I
Well,
love her
well,
so
what
much.
about your sisters and brothers? Are any of them in education?
Yeah, of course. When the war took place back in the days, my dad like kind of dispatched us.
Right, everybody out to go and teach.
Yeah, my oldest sister is Amal. She graduated from Leipzig in back in the days. It was East Germany.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and she was on the top of an honor list all the time.
Wow.
That's my first sister. And my second sister, Rula, she's still in Germany, in Hamburg, and she's a DNA doctor.
Really?
Yes. My deceased brother,
sorry to hear
yeah,
that.
yeah, he just passed in 2012. He was a network guy. He was
Really?
very, like, he was in charge for all the East region for the Ritz-Carlton.
Wow.
Yeah, Hutch. He passed, unfortunately.
Yes.
My brother Sam, he's here in California, in Glendale, and he's another network guy, and he's very, very smart. He runs beautiful, major 2 companies here.
Yes.
My other sister, Fida, she's also here in California. She's, what they call it, in the pharmacy, but she's a pharmacy technician.
Yes.
Yeah, but she works also with her husband. He's a self-employed. My younger one, and I'm a teacher, and
Yes,
I do
of
what I
course.
do. And then my younger one, Atlal, she's just earned her PhD back home in the American University of Beirut.
Wow.
Yeah, she's the Einstein of the family.
I think the whole family is filled with Einsteins. That's what I think.
Yeah, and my youngest sister, Maisa, she's a medical information system. She did it in Michigan, and she still lives in Michigan.
Still there.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, when you look
Yeah.
at your family, so you think your dad was really the nidus of effect to have
Yeah.
everyone impacted by the need to be highly educated.
Yeah, he was well off. He was wealthy, him
Right.
and my mom. But did we see that? Honestly, no.
No.
Mm-mm. He never spoiled us. He goes, well, I'll pay for schools, but you don't see that money in your pocket.
You do the
And
work.
that's what he wanted, because as they say, don't give them a fish, teach them how to
How to
fish.
fish, yes.
And that's what
yes.
my dad did exactly.
Yes.
He's very proud.
Well, he
Yeah.
should be. And I love that. I think that's a very powerful statement there is don't give them the fish, teach them how to fish.
Right.
Because I think with that, I'll share this with you quickly.
Sure.
Is that my dad used to always tell me that, I'll give you an example. I remember as a kid, I was walking past the store and I saw some sneakers that I wanted. And I said, I want those. And he said, oh, okay. I said, I want to go in there. I want you to get those for me. He said, no, Levi, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Because you want it doesn't mean you need it.
Right.
And then he said, you have to remember, son, if I give you everything, you'd appreciate nothing. So I worked to get those sneakers. And when I worked, I'll never forget going in there. There were Adidas. To buy those sneakers, I felt so good because I'd earned them.
Yes.
And I'll never forget when I got home, I showed him what I had. And he said, that's the way life is. You should earn everything that you get. Then you can call it your own.
That's very
So
true.
I totally get what your dad did.
Right, because you appreciate it, because you don't want to not appreciate things and then you take things for granted over the time.
Right.
Yeah, every minute counts and
Every
every
minute.
dollar does not come that easy at all.
No, we work for it.
Yeah.
We earn it.
Yes.
Yeah, there's no one just dumping it on. We have to go out, as my dad said, go out and make your life.
Yeah.
And that's what we do.
Exactly, yeah. And I lived in so many different countries. We are in the United States of America. It doesn't take much to be educated. There are so many schools
Absolutely.
and good people, and you don't have to have the thousands of dollars to be educated.
No, you need one thing.
You can get the dollars later.
Exactly.
But get your brain going
Exactly.
first. Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's why I know, I lived in Germany with my sister for a while. I visited so many countries.
That's a beautiful country also, Germany. It's a gorgeous
very
place.
disciplined, yeah.
Very.
I honestly couldn't take it.
Very.
I
It's
needed to
intense.
leave because they're so disciplined.
Very
to the
structured.
dot, very
Oh, yes.
structured.
Oh, yes.
Like you cannot toss a paper on the street. Anybody can yell at you.
Anybody.
Anybody.
Yes.
Because they all feel it's my home.
It's
my
their home, right.
Right. So if we feel the same, we will have better.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I agree
But
with you.
I'm saying comparing United States has, like we are in California, we have so many different programs,
Right.
whether in the East, in Michigan, or here. Public schools are free. No
Yes.
need not to go.
And even colleges, are very inexpensive.
And you can get the financial aid too.
If you wanted to get
Just
the degree.
learn the system and
how to work it.
go how to
Right,
do
right.
how to. So there is no reason. What I wanted to say, no excuse
I agree with
not
that.
to be educated.
I agree with
You
that.
may not be lucky making money, but
You have the
there's no excuse
education.
not to be
That use your brain.
to use your brain and have because you see more when you really get education. You see things different.
Right.
You logic things different.
Absolutely.
You will be more reasonable.
Right.
It makes sense to
Right.
you.
Right.
You don't complain.
Exactly. And you don't just do things because other people are doing it. You can use critical logic and thinking and say that, okay, you're doing that. I'm not doing that
Right.
because of the
See?
consequences it will have on me, on
Yeah.
my family, on my friends, on my reputation.
Yeah.
So whatever you want to do, fine. But your decisions won't impact me making
True.
my decisions.
Exactly. And I always tell my young men and women that you want to be in this apartment forever? Well, let's get some education.
Right.
The more you do, the higher you do, the better your apartment will be.
Absolutely.
The better guys around, especially for the females.
Absolutely.
You get to meet like
Be
handsome
different
dudes
people, different
in the college,
exactly. Yep.
different minds.
Mindsets and different
Yeah.
socioeconomic
Yeah.
levels also.
And it gets them to really get going.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because they will see the big picture.
Right.
Like one of my golden rules I always put on the board everywhere I go, in the car, in the garage, because they all come and chill out
Right.
in
Right.
the garage. It's get out of the box.
Yes.
Get out of the box.
Yes.
Know what's going on in the city next to you.
Absolutely.
What about the state next
Right.
to you?
And what about the country next to you?
Yeah.
Right.
Do we know what's going on in Europe?
Right.
Do we have any clue about South Africa?
Right.
What about the Philippines? And then they go like,
Exactly. You want to fire their
it's
brains
like
up.
an alert. Point.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So maybe when they learn more about others, they appreciate, even if they have nothing. That what they have is also too much.
Absolutely. But I do think when you fire up someone's mind, you fire up their lives, because then they know they can make better choices about what can impact their lives.
True.
Financially and psychologically and even spiritually.
Big time. And and when you change one life, like this is like $1 million thing to me, because with that life you have a whole family,
right, and a legacy,
a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a mom or a brother or a sister, any sibling, any cousin. There will be, the impact will be ongoing.
Absolutely.
And that keeps you going
too. It does. And it keeps the legacy of the family going. You know, for example, I'm sure you've taught a lot of first college graduates of a family.
Big time.
And like I was. So I know that me going through school now will impact my family. I can do more for them. What they couldn't do for me, no problem. I can do it now for them, as well as for other family members and for friends of family members.
Yeah, see? Yeah, and you get that circles bigger and bigger.
Very
we want
synergistic.
a better future. We want them not to be on the street.
Right.
Or lazy at home.
No.
Circumstances and unfortunate event happen to everybody. Single one of us, no matter who you are, what you are.
Right.
It happens to everybody.
Yes, it does.
But it should not be an excuse not to keep going.
Exactly. You have to keep going.
Yeah, big time.
You know, when you say that, it made me think of something my grandmother would always say, and she passed about 7 years ago now. She was such she's definitely resting. She's an amazing woman. But something she would always say, and I'll never forget, once I called her and I told her, I said, you know, I'm really like having some issues with one of my instructors. He's really blah, 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 and he's doing this. And she said, and why are you telling me that? And I said, well, I know we can talk about it and pray about it. And she said, yeah, we can talk about it. We can pray about it. She said, but Levi, you got to remember one thing. She said, you got to remember this when I'm here. And she said, when I'm gone. And that was, only the strong survive.
Yes.
So no matter how tough things are, you keep in your mind that you're tougher, that you're stronger, that your faith will get you through anything, and that you have the power as a man to achieve greatness. And she would say that, and I'd look at the phone like, she's right about that. I got it. Yeah, and I miss her so much because she was an extraordinary, loving, giving. I miss her tremendously. Yeah. Oh, tremendously.
Sorry. Yeah. And you know, she's not here no more. Yeah. But her teachings is still.
Oh, very true. Oh, very
Isn't
true.
It? So she's never gone. Yeah.
Very true.
That's
true.
Amazing.
Let's talk about your organization. Let's hear about your foundation. What you doing with them. Tell everyone about it. When was it founded? And tell them what it does.
Yeah.
I think it's phenomenal.
The name is Helping Hands Youth and Children's Services, and we truly mean it. And it's really a helping hand.
Yes.
Back in, I believe, end of 2011. I was helping a student, which my daughter's friend, she decided not to go back to school and blah, blah, blah. So I said, no, we need to help you and we need to get you going. And,
absolutely.
Thank God she graduated. She's on the right track. She finished college now.
Perfect.
Yeah, but
all because of you. That's a blessing.
I believe God meant to me to be there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So with her, so also, I'm a high school teacher, so I always do my best to build a relation with my students.
Right.
I don't want them to pass by my class as a guest or just a period. Thank God I'm done. No, I really want to build some kind of relation with them. So we go beyond. So how are you doing? Okay, in other classes, can we help? And now, what about afternoon? Do you work? How do you commute to school? Things like that.
Right.
So, and then they tell me, Miss El-Assaad, over the time, because you're building trust.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So they go, Miss El-Assaad, can I talk to you about my cousin or my brother or my sister? And this how the circles start getting. And I felt at a point, oh my dear God, there are 15 people. Here is 7 and here is 5. So I'm talking to a very good friend of mine. He's a pastor.
Yes.
And he's into the nonprofit organizations long time ago. I had no clue at that time.
Right.
And he told me, you know what? What you're doing is awesome. Why don't you do an NPO? Establish an NPO.
Absolutely.
And this is how the idea started. The need was badly needed.
Exactly.
We needed.
There was a void there that you could actually put some help in that place.
Exactly, yeah. So this is how we started. Back in 2012, I got the approval from the state, and later on from the federal.
Wow.
So, which is I'm very proud of it.
That takes a lot of work to get that.
It does.
It's not a joke.
Service has been ongoing before and after the establishment, and to be honest, we never did any show yet, any event.
Right.
Just like
It's
recently
intense.
we did one, but because I feel like the need for the student comes first,
Absolutely.
and that never stopped.
Right. Right.
On and on.
Right.
But we're growing. We're growing. Like, I didn't expect to be at this number, honestly.
Right.
But when I was looking at some statistics, like a few days ago, whoa, we started with 7 people. Now we are at 340. Yeah.
Really?
Over 70 were graduated already.
Wow.
Yeah. And then it's a growth of about 30 to 33%
Every year.
every year.
Wow.
That's one-on-one.
That's tremendous, though.
One-on-one, I'm saying.
Right.
50 to 60 students every single year. Like, if I have more help,
You can even have more.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's sad that the need is there, but it's not sad that many good people like us and others will be willing to help.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's wonderful, though, that you had the vision and still have the vision to see, okay, this is a void that needs to be filled with love and education.
Sure.
Let me step up to the base and do it.
Exactly. Yes.
It's not an easy thing to do.
Right.
You have your own life. You have your 3 beautiful daughters. You have just your own world. And yet you're to me, when I talk to you, I get this impression that you're on this platform to constantly expand the world of education to every person that wants to be involved.
Right. If they get what you do, like, for example, some students, so I started with them, like my originals, I call them.
Right.
They're always around. If they will be me one day, or like, that is the gift of life,
Yeah, because
right?
then you've done it.
Yeah, and they are. They are. They're very giving. They're very smart young men and women that they only need that push, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
But see, but that push, it takes a lot of discernment to know how hard to push, when to push, whom to push.
Yes.
Because you push too hard, you push them away.
They push them
You don't
away.
push enough, they don't do enough.
Yes.
So to have that gift of discernment that you have, that's phenomenal. 'Cause that's, with children, that's not an easy read. Because don't forget, you see them at school, you don't necessarily know what's going on at home.
Yeah.
You know, or do they have a home?
Yeah.
Are they homeless? Are they living in a car?
I was
you
gonna
know?
ask you. I was gonna tell you, like, if they do have a home.
Right.
Yeah, I'm
Right.
dealing right now with 2 homeless young men. They're awesome and they're so smart.
Right.
They want to be better.
Of course.
Yeah. Well, they did mess up at some point, but they didn't know any better.
Right.
They're very young.
They were learning.
Yes. So I'm pleased that they're on the right track.
Right.
They're
Well,
on the right track.
I really applaud what you're doing in the community, but more importantly, what I think is wonderful is that your impact today will have an impact for many, many generations.
I hope
That's
so.
the
I
thing.
pray and I hope.
It's just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Now, how can people contact you to
We
maybe come
have
out
a-
and give a talk
Yeah.
or to give a donation to your foundation? Let's talk about the foundation again now.
Yeah.
What's the name of it?
Helping Hands Youth and Children's Services.
Yes.
And we have a website, http, //
Yes.
HHYandandC.org.
Fantastic. So say it one more time.
Yeah.
Hamsa.
HHYandandC.org.
Fantastic.
We have a form on it, so they can put a comment or any questions.
Right. And they can also donate.
Please.
Fantastic.
Like, Helping Hands is out there to help whether they have money or not.
Right.
But with the support of people, that will be awesome.
Absolutely.
We can reach out for more and more young men and women
Right.
to be helped.
Right.
And that would be very grateful.
Right.
Public information could be on a website the whole time.
Right.
And there is a phone number also. They can I can keep it right now. 626-665-5779.
You can give it to them one more time, that number?
626-665-5779. It's a cell phone. They can call it or leave a message.
Right.
And we do our best to reach out for them as well.
Absolutely.
We're planning and preparing on having to launch a big event coming up.
Oh, fantastic.
So we're working on it. But we will put it on the website once we are
Please do.
finalizing
and
the
you
info.
let Janet know, my manager, and anything you want us to do to help with that, I will definitely show up and do what I
Bless
can.
your heart, Dr.
Because
Levi.
I think it's wonderful what you're doing. I think it's what I so admire about you is as I'm talking to you is this authentic fire of really wanting to be of help to humanity.
Yeah.
I can feel it. It's very palpable. It's visceral in here.
Yeah.
So I
Thank
really
you.
thank you for really
you.
being you, because what you're really doing is making the world a better place. Not just a microcosm where you are, but the families are impacted tremendously by what you do.
Because we have many young women who are decided to get pregnant, of course unplanned, because they are to be mothers at a very young age.
Right.
And these little kids and infants and babies, they need the right place to be, the right nutrition.
Absolutely.
They need, so you help one, you help the rest,
help the
and
rest.
so on.
Right.
Yeah. So we're 20. There is no Sunday or Saturday for us.
It's every day.
It's 24/7 ongoing.
Wow.
Like after midnight we stop.
I so applaud
because
you.
you never know when young men and women don't ask.
Absolutely.
So when they do,
Yes.
right away we jump on it.
Absolutely.
So that's something I learned also from experience.
I just think it's phenomenal what you're doing. So I want you to know that myself, I'll be sending you a donation of about $1,100 to hopefully help in some way,
Dr. Levi.
and let Janet know how we can help. But I will definitely be there to do anything I can to be of assistance. As my dad would say, education is the way to have true, authentic independence in life.
Yeah.
Because one thing he would always say is, people can take a lot from you, but once you have it in your brain, they can't touch that.
Exactly. And smart minds think the same.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And why not think? What I love what you're doing is you're teaching people how to think critically about their lives and to understand that with every decision you make, there are consequences.
True.
So be aware of what you're choosing.
That.
It's
And
like,
you
do
should
you
not
want
be
the red
punished
pill?
the rest of your
Should
life.
not.
It will be gone. It will be over.
Exactly.
Make it up.
Exactly.
Yeah, think straight now. So
Right.
you did what you did.
And then fly right.
Exactly. We spent enough time on it. Let's invest the time for something better.
Absolutely. And do the right thing.
You experience it already. Good. You can say I did this or that.
Right.
Cool. But what about today?
Exactly. What about tomorrow?
Yesterday is goodbye.
Yeah. We only have now and what's to come.
Yes.
Now I want to hear, what about your daughters? What do they think about mom being such a super woman?
They're very, very, very supportive.
They have to
My
be.
oldest, Tala, she's into biology right now.
Right.
And she's the secretary. And she's
Fantastic.
learning how to be she's a very tough cookie, by the way.
Have to be.
Way
She's a very tough
tougher-
mom.
Tougher than mom.
Oh,
honestly.
really?
She's a very direct, straight for sometimes. I look at her, but she's a very direct, tough one.
Fantastic.
My number 2, Yara,
Right.
she's a second year college. She's my backbone.
Right.
She's my right hand.
Right.
She's with me everywhere I go. A copy of me.
Right.
Yeah. Very giving. Love to help.
I love that.
She jumps. Yeah. And the last one is Saja. She's still 8th grader, but she's a pro at media.
Oh, really?
does-
Oh, fantastic. Social media.
She's the Snapchat.
She's a Snapchat
Instagram.
queen. Right.
We always go back to her like, hello. Yeah. Because I really don't know how, but my 8th grader does.
Right.
So
I think it's fantastic. I just want to tell you it was such a pleasure and an honor to have you on the show. I'll be sending you my donation next week. You'll get it by next Friday at the latest.
That's what I think.
And I just want to say the world really needs more spectacular human beings like you, because you really make a difference. So thank you so much for being you. And what's the name of the organization again and the phone number?
Helping Hands Youth and Children's is out there. We will be helping regardless, unconditional, but we want you to help as well. please.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And what's the phone number again?
626-665-5779.
And the website?
HHY and the word ANDC.org.
Well, you just heard it from the most eloquent and amazing, beautiful, spectacular Hamsa El-Assaad, just an extraordinary human being, you know. So I hope you felt the impact that I felt today of knowing that I need to do even more. I need to make a difference, and I need to do what I can to really leave a great impact on the world. Well, this is Dr. Levi. Hamsa, anything else you wanted to say?
I want to ask you,
yes,
and
ma'am.
Anybody, your neighbors, your relative, anybody works with you, if you get across young men and women who are not in school or going through some kind of hardship, no matter what it is, please have them call us.
Absolutely.
We'll be more than happy to help them, and it doesn't matter where they are.
Right.
Los Angeles County, San Bernardino County, it's like a huge.
Yeah.
So we can reach out for them. Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we will be reaching out for them.
Fantastic. I want to say again, this is Helping Hands Youth and Children's Services. So you heard it from wonderful Hamsa El-Assaad. I want to thank her for being with us. Again, I want to remind everyone to please reach out to the American Red Cross, to Houston. Keep Houston in our prayers and all the first responders who've done such a great job. And let's hope and pray that the federal government will also come to the aid of those in Houston. This is Dr. Levi. I want to thank you so much for joining us. And remember, every day is a gift, and ask yourself, what am I doing to make the world a better place? Of less judgment, more love, less hatred, more compassion and giving. This is Dr. Levi. Have a great day, and of course, I'll see you next week. Bye.